Hey, welcome to Robbie Lobby. We have a special guest today, and I'm sure you've seen him because his video is the most popular one in our channel. And Scott has been playing tennis for a very long time.
Very long time. I started when I was 9, and I'm 75.
Scott, you may not appreciate. Just that opened a big barrier in our heads. Here's a guy, 75, and has just beaten us, on the court. So forget everything. If we are like him at his age, just playing, that would be a life well lived.
Thank you. I'm still healthy enough to play, and I love the sport. I can't imagine not playing competitive, and I will not be happy when finally I won't be able to get on the tennis court.
Yeah.
Then I'll take up pickleball.
Hear that, pickleballers?
But only after I can't play.
Yeah.
I'm a tennis guy anyway. So
Thank
yes.
you. And you were so generous after the match to share your USTA experience. So Santosh and I have been playing for nearly a decade. We've been playing Alta, but it seems to have a ceiling because you don't move up individually as a team. So we've been plateaued. But then we heard about USTA. Some people said that you can play in tournaments, move up, and get national record. We tried to figure out the process, and it was arcane, surprisingly.
Yes. It's not easy. There's no FAQs in a lot of cases.
So that's when I thought, when I met you, I thought, hey, maybe he could help us understand. If it is so hard for us, for me to understand, probably it is for others too. And one thing in Atlanta is I've met so many passionate tennis players. I thought they might benefit from this information also.
We'll hope so.
And that's why we are doing this video.
All right. Awesome. So you ask questions, I'll try to fill in the blanks. How about that?
All right. First of all, I'm still curious about your tennis history.
Okay.
Just tell us about it.
So my parents met on a tennis court in college. My father played number 3 on the college team, and my mother also played on the women's side in the 40s. My father then was invited to join the U.S. military for the Second World War, and he couldn't refuse.
Yeah.
So he was a fighter pilot in the Second World War, came back, my parents got married. They continued to play tennis because that's a sport they loved. And then they taught my sister and I when we were very young. So my sister played on the men's high school team. There were no women's sports in the 60s, at least in the South. And she was good enough to play number 3 on the men's team, but they wouldn't allow her to play because if she played, they'd have to forfeit the match.
So even if she wins, they still forfeit the match?
Yes, if she participated, then the match would be forfeit because a girl played in the boys' match. A little different today for the better. So she beat all the boys except for the first 2 singles guys. Then I came along and I was on the tennis team. From high school, I played a couple of years at college as well.
Oh, you did play at college?
I did play at college. The academics at Georgia Tech were a little more than I can handle and work part-time and play a sport. So I dropped out.
So Georgia Tech was just like, even then, hard.
When I was there, the orientation said that only 1 of 3 of us would actually graduate.
Oh, wow.
You had to absolutely kill it, or you were gone. When you got out, you knew you had really worked hard. It was brutal academically, but it did prepare you to go from Georgia Tech into a job. So I moved to Savannah and picked up the racket and started playing again. Moved to Ohio, joined a club, played there, and then from graduate school came back to Atlanta, and I've been in Atlanta since 77. So I was able then to participate in early Alta. Alta was almost brand new, 77, 78.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was singles and doubles.
Okay.
And
That's about 50 years ago, right?
Yeah. So you had 3 singles and 2 doubles. That's how it started.
Okay.
People were complaining about finding people to play singles.
Ah.
So then it went to an all doubles format. So it's been all doubles format since, 78 or 79. So it's been all doubles ever since. And so Alta was everything about tennis in Atlanta. Okay. When you went to an Alta match, it was unbelievable. Very much a social event rather than a heavily competitive event.
I see.
And then that changed over time, and now you're lucky to get a bag of chips and a bottle of water. People got more competitive. But for the most part, people who play Alta tennis are all trying to get a city championship. I played a couple of USTA tournaments in my 20s. My buddies would call and we go play. The problem was that those tournaments, if you just walked on and signed up, you played the number one seed. Those were really good players. You really almost never got out of the first round simply because you were playing one of the top seeds, or if they got a bye. So occasionally you get out of the first seed.
That's what happened to us the first match we played. Right?
Yeah, you got a seeded team?
Yeah, we played against probably the number one team, right?
Oh, yeah.
When we played
With the
USTA.
tournament when we played.
Yeah. Did you win?
We won in the third set.
You did?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But I was thinking it's going to be a blowout, 6-0, 6-0.
Yeah.
But
They didn't take you seriously, or?
I
So
think
the first set was 6-love,
Okay.
and we got used to that. We were not used to the pace.
Yes.
They were just hitting it at a different level. And I think second set, we started playing our game, which is a slower pace. Like we could actually see the ball now. The serve
Ball became
we were able to-
old.
But I think we did not feel shy to serve more slice serves as opposed to trying to match them. I think they got frustrated. But by the time it came to third set, they were panicking. Oh my God, we're going to lose to this guy.
Wow.
And
That's
they-
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a shocker.
great guys, though. They never once made a bad call or swore or anything like that.
What level tournament?
I think it's a 5-2.
We played 4-0.
Level 5.
Level
and
5.
4.0.
4.0.
Okay.
This is in Columbus.
Columbus.
Our very first tournament, we had no idea.
Congratulations. That's a very impressive story. It's tough to beat seeded teams because most of them are very experienced and they don't lose to people who aren't experienced, even if they're better players, because there is a mental toughness about tournaments that is real.
That's true.
I'm surprised that they got nervous.
Yeah, I think they're just not used to playing at such a low pace, I think.
I can express, yes,
Yeah.
I can
I
appreciate
think
that.
expectations and
Yeah.
like they were from Columbus, like from the local guys.
Okay, yeah.
And seeded number one.
Yep.
And they were playing mixed doubles, like they had the whole gang. I think that added a lot of pressure. Like they started imagining what happens if they lose to these guys.
That is fantastic. Anyway, so for me, I picked up USTA in the 90s. And again, as I went from, then you had to go in front of a pro and they assessed your game and then they assigned your rating. And I went and I got assessed and they asked me what team was recruiting and I said it's a 4.0 team and they said fine, you can be on a 4.0 team. And so we did well, moved to 4.5, from 4.5 then moved to 5.0. There was a 6.0 team in league in Atlanta, but that collapsed and so 5.0 became the highest league in the Atlanta area. So guys that wanted to play league, no matter what their ratings above 5.0, they came down to play. So it was very competitive. I became the captain of the team for several years, and we got to state once. At state tournament, they also assessed your ability at the state tournament pros. We had some very good singles players. Both of my singles players got DQ'd for being too good.
Oh, that happens too?
And that was it, because we only had almost the minimum number of players. It was a state tournament. And so we went home. And then my wife, she was playing Alta mixed doubles. And she was very frustrated. So she said, I want you to play mixed doubles with me. And my wife was a very solid 3.0 USTA.
Okay.
And a good B-level Alta player. And so I said, fine, I'll play. Because she wants to play with me. And the reason is that I don't hog the court. Have you ever seen the guys take over?
Oh, yeah, totally.
All the time.
Yeah.
Because she didn't have much of a serve, they'd put her at line 5 with gentlemen who were overweight and had bigger egos than they had a game. So we went out, and she found a USTA league that was a 5.5 mixed league. So the two participants had a
together.
total of 5.5.
Yep.
So I re-upped with USTA, hadn't been a member for a number of years, and they assigned me 2.5. She was a 3.0.
Okay.
But I hadn't hit a tennis ball in years.
Okay.
And so we go to the first match, we meet everybody, and I'm very rusty. I haven't hit a tennis ball, but the strokes are there, the game is there, and we won, and they were complaining bitterly
Oh, yeah.
You're not a 3-0.
Totally.
And I went, no, I'm the 2-5. And they're like, and I said, I didn't ask to be 2-5.
Yeah.
They assigned me. Now, the rule in USTA is they will put you with what your old rating was. And at the time, you fell off their records.
Reset
Start
it.
you as if you were a brand new tennis player,
Okay.
which would be 2-5. But now, if you were a 4-0 and you go out for several years, you come back, you're going to be a 4-0.
Yeah.
Even if your game is not at a 4 level. So we get one season of that. And then, of course, the rating went up. So I played mixed doubles with her and Alta and USTA. Somewhere in the 2000s, I made the decision that I wanted to go to a national tournament. I didn't know how to get there. Alta is a wonderful league, but it's
Atlanta.
local,
Yeah.
and it's team rated, as you guys have found it.
Uh-huh.
It's not personal rating.
Yep.
If you're on line 1 or line 2, you can be meeting opponents who are extremely good or extremely bad. And you never know, except for lines 1 and 2, you can be blown out or you can be bored.
Yep.
I wanted to be more consistent. So I went looking for a tennis pro to get my game back to a level that I felt like I could compete. In 2009, qualified to go to state.
So what does that mean? You qualified for state.
Okay.
And then there's region, then there's nationals, is it?
Okay, yeah. The first thing you have to do, and we're going to talk about Atlanta and Georgia, and it is unique.
Oh, okay.
The vast majority of league tennis in the 17, there are 17 sections.
Okay.
As far away as Hawaii, and also includes the Caribbean,
Okay.
is they play mixed ratings. So they will play, we play a 3-5 league, and
Okay.
it's a pure 3-5 league. In other words, you have to have a 3-5 rating.
Okay.
If you have a guy on your team with 3-0, he can play, but it is not set up as a 7-0 league.
Ah, okay.
A 7-0 league, you can have 4-0s and 3-0s.
Trios, got it.
Or 3-5, 3-5s, but it's mixed because there aren't enough players in any one rating group to make a league. So they provide combinations. And that's the most common around the country. But in Atlanta, we have enough players in the age groups to have leagues that are ratings pure.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
So in Atlanta, this is the way it works. First of all, you play league, and the league number of teams in the league can vary from 6 to 12. You have a certain number of weeks that you play, and if it's a shorter number of teams, you play twice. And then if it's larger, they'll split it, and you'll play teams in your half of the league or whatever, and then you play a tournament. At the end of the season, after you've played everybody, then you play a local city tournament. If there are under 11 teams, only the champion of the league, and that's during the season, but it's the tournament champion, gets an invitation to go to the state tournament for that age group and that rating.
Got it.
Okay? If you have over 11, then you'll get 2 invitations, and that'll be the finalist of the tournament.
Got it. Okay.
And the number of teams that make the tournament varies, but this year in the 65s, I think it's the 65s, we have enough teams that it'll be the top 4 teams in a split league that will make the tournament. And then the number 1s will play the number 4s, and they'll cross it. And then I think they re-rate everything, all the teams, and then you'll play the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals. Okay. So in the 65s this year, in 3-5, we'll have 2 invitations to the state tournament, which will be the finalist. And the goal in league, if you're going to play in a league, your goal is to go to a national tournament.
Got it.
You're going to win your city tournament. Then you're going to go to state, and in state, the age groups and the ratings will have different number of teams, but you can pretty much guess there's going to be 9-10 teams because you have a lot of tennis centers in the state of Georgia, and they're passionate tennis players, so they all show up. And then if you win the state of Georgia. Then you go and play the Southern Sectional. So there'll be 9 teams at the Southern Sectional.
Okay.
Or 10. It varies, and it'll be held in one of the tennis centers in the 9 states in the South.
Okay.
The winner of the section then goes on to the national. So if you're in Atlanta, the good news is that you get great competition.
Mm-hmm.
You get to play a lot of good tennis.
Yeah.
And then to get to national in the Southern section, you have to play 20 to 24 matches
Wow.
to get there. In other sections, they'll play a weekend round robin with 3 teams and go to nationals.
I see. Okay.
It's like a teams,
Right.
like leagues. And so it varies depending upon the section and how they handle the team that goes to nationals. But at nationals, there'll be 17 teams. You have random draws. So the first 4 matches are randomly selected.
Okay.
And then from that random selection, the top 4 teams will go to a semifinals,
okay.
and then the top winners will go to finals.
Got it.
And you play that Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And the semifinals and finals are on Sunday.
Okay. And in terms of calendar, like
Yes.
how often does this happen, these tournaments?
Oh, everything except for 65s, they're a little different. All of this happens in the same calendar year.
And does it, so because it's league, so
Yes.
we play leagues, what, twice a year?
Yes.
For
Right.
so,
Yeah, the
so-
spring and the fall.
So the fall league is
Okay.
called early start.
Okay.
And the matches that you play in the fall league are for the next
Spring.
year's state tournament.
Oh, that's
So
Okay.
if you won your league and you won your league's tournament, you will get an invitation to the next year's state tournament.
that happens in spring, is it? Or when
And it
does-
also happens in the spring.
okay.
So but the fall, the fall leagues are called early start leagues.
Okay. Okay.
And so you can actually put the same team together and nobody gets bumped December 31st.
Yeah.
But you can put the same team together and win twice.
Okay.
If you win in the early league, most captains will put another team together and everybody will play. But since they have their state invite, what they will do then is, and if their team wins again, they'll pick the stronger of the 2 teams
Okay.
and say, we're not going, this team is not going, this team is going.
Ah.
And then they'll put another invitation to another team, a finalist or another team, so that they have enough teams at state to fill out the, fill out the tournament.
So the tournaments actually happen twice a year, is it?
No, state tournaments are once a year.
State is only once
Once a year. Sectionals are only once a year. Nationals are once a year.
Oh, okay.
But league play is
Twice a year.
Yes.
You can qualify irrespective of which.
Yes.
So,
You can qualify from the fall. You can qualify from the spring.
And it's just that team, whatever is qualified.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter who the players are.
No, it does matter because you have to be on the roster. Okay, in order to win. So to get the invite is not only the team but also the players.
Okay,
So
they also.
you can't drag in somebody who didn't play.
Okay.
So you have to. Each player has to qualify. 55, 40. You have to play twice during the regular season. You don't have to play in the tournaments, but you do have to play twice before a tournament in order to qualify to play in a tournament. And the rules are varying, but basically is if you don't play enough, then you can't go.
Okay.
65 is once. And that's a difference. I think it's a difference for injury.
Got it. Okay.
You're playing tennis at 65 and above. So you just play once. But 55 is twice, 40 is twice. So the captains have to get you in. You have to play twice. If the captain wants to have you for his state competitive team, everybody has to play twice. Each individual has to play twice.
2 matches. Okay. So this is for league. So in terms of, the tournament, the state happens in spring. And how much time between that and sectionals and nationals?
Depends on age.
Okay.
Excuse me. Generally is the tournaments are in the summer. State tournament, sectionals, and nationals will run June to October.
Got it.
Excuse me. Because they want to have all of those done before the ratings come out. And the ratings really show up 1st of December.
Yep.
Okay. So they want everybody to play, and they have all of the scores from the previous fall, all the way through all the tournaments.
Okay.
And that's where they calculate your individual rating for the next year.
Next year.
Now, the only difference in all of that is 65. 65, the national tournament, and I use that in quotes because it's an invitational. It's not actually recognized as a USTA national tournament. It's a little strange, but Surprise, Arizona, as a city, under the auspices of the USTA, invites all 17 sectional winners to come to Surprise, Arizona and have a tournament, an invitational tournament in January, late January or in February in Surprise, Arizona.
And just for 65.
Just for 65. And they used to do 55 and 65.
Okay.
And then 55s moved to Orlando.
Oh, okay.
And now I understand, though, that 55s are going to play in Arizona this year. I don't know that for sure, but that's what I've been told. And the person told me I think is probably correct.
Okay.
Which is I don't know why. But it could be that the Orlando, something changed and they can't accommodate.
Got it.
So, anyway. But the last several years, your league play in the fall, league play in the spring, we'll use that. Then you get your invitation, and then it's like June, you start playing state tournaments, and then September are sectionals, and then in October are nationals.
Got
It's
it.
kind of the pattern, the dates, and it'll vary a little bit.
So this is for league play, right?
League
This is
play. We're
all
just
for
talking
play.
league.
Leagues. Okay.
Yes,
I
leagues.
think I have more clarity on leagues than I ever had now.
you know more than you want to know.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went to play leagues because I wanted to go to a national tournament. Because I played USTA tournaments, they're standard tournaments, and that was fine, but restricted to doubles because of bad wheels. So now I'm playing at 4-0, and the team I'm on just won the state championship 4-0-65 men's. We'll go to the Southern Sectionals in Memphis in a couple of weeks. I have 11 state championships. I have 10 sectional championships. I have 5 national championships. So that's me.